History of Kinesiology. Have you ever laughed watching really old exercise videos, or considered the long history of the Olympic Games? Have you ever wondered why you had to complete a mile run or sit-up test when in school? Or maybe you're curious about the increased obesity rate and what has caused this change over time. All of these questions and many more can be answered by studying the history of kinesiology. The history of kinesiology is a subdiscipline of the academic discipline of kinesiology. So it is a small area of study within the broader field of study of kinesiology. If you continue your studies in kinesiology, you may take a history of sports and physical activity class. Studying history has two important purposes for physical activity professionals. One, it helps kinesiology professionals to better understand sports and physical activity today by understanding how we got here over time. Two, studying history helps us predict needs and trends in the future of the kinesiology field. This could, for example, be very important if you want to design new fitness or exercise equipment. When we collect historical data, we look at primary and secondary sources. A primary source is a direct source of information from the time period being studied. Examples of primary sources can include journals, pictures, books, videos, or radio interviews. A secondary source is a summary source of information written in a later period of time. A secondary source can still provide useful historical information, and it may be helpful to find primary sources. Historical researchers are kind of like a forensic crime analysis team who search for clues to figure out the stories from the past. Some of the biggest trends to consider when studying the history of kinesiology include the historical links between military training and preparedness to physical education curriculum and classes, the popularity of sporting events as entertainment, and the reflection of sociocultural, political, and religious beliefs in the availability and access to physical activity resources. As you dive into this chapter, be on the lookout for historical trends in the field. Again, studying these historical trends helps us to understand the field of kinesiology today and make predictions about the future of the field.